All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to tonight's school board meeting. It is September the 8th, I believe. Yes. 2025. I like to call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Steve Trish Robertson.
Here.
Vice Chair Maricela Pacina.
Here.
Chairman Travis Manning.
Here.
Trustee Manuel Godina.
Here.
And Trustee Andrew Butler.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right, you all may be seated. Good to have you tonight. Approval of board meeting agenda postings. Madam Clerk.
Chairman Travis Manning and trustees, I request the approval of the regular board meeting and executive session agenda posting for Monday, September 8th, 2025. The agenda was posted on Friday, September 5th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. The agenda was posted at the following locations: the Caldwell School District website and the Caldwell District office.
Okay. Can I get a motion to receive the clerk's agenda posting?
Chairman Manning, I'd like to make a motion to approve and accept the agenda posting for Monday, September 8th, 2025.
Trustee Godina, do I have a second?
Second.
Vice Chair Pacino with a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okey dokey. Information items, Dr. French.
Yes, Chairman Manning and trustees, I just wanted to make sure that you were aware that our Caldwell educator, Dr. Melissa Farrell, was named as Idaho's recipient of the esteemed 2026 Travelers Award for Teaching Excellence by the NEA Foundation. In February, she will travel to Washington, D.C. for that recognition. And she's really deserves that. She's very deserving of it. So I think they're at KTVB is doing a story this week. Channel 6, I apologize. Channel 6 will be doing a story this week and interviewing her, and then Jessica will be there as well. So just wanted to make sure you're aware of that. And then the update, the boys soccer is playing right now. We're 4-0 over Meridian. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thanks, Dr. French. Caldwell High School, we have our student representatives, and we are so excited to meet Kason Obregon and have him meet everybody else. And so, Kason, good to have you tonight. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, Chairman Manning, Superintendent French, and the Board of Trustees. So this is the CHS Board Report for August and basically everything before. Okay, so just like Nick Mendez used to do, we're going to cover our academics, athletics, and activities up until I can find my own way of doing things. But to quote Nick, it's this way because he did it best. So very recently we had our senior summit. This is something very new, and I actually kind of liked it. It was pretty nice. It was proposed this year to educate parents and students on the success they need to graduate, what classes they need to take, what credits they need to have, and what they need to do further on. We talked about Jostens, our class rings, if people still even get those, their jackets, their cap and gowns, credit recovery, advanced diplomas, our attendance schedules, and college and career readiness. Something that we kind of saw that was different this year is there was a really big parent turnout. This is like one of the first things I've seen where parents actually care about the education aspect of their students and not just the athletic parts, about what you can do on Friday night lights and the like such. So this was really nice to see. I'm sure Trustee Butler hears enough of this, but Tracy White was actually named our Teacher of the Year at Caldwell High School. I've had the pleasure of knowing Miss White for 4 years now. 3 years she has educated me in student council or English, and she is amazing, whether it's coming on Saturdays and setting up the ACT tests, doing homecoming hallway setup, prom setup. She is an amazing educator, and I just want to shine some light on her award this year. Next, athletics, swimming had their first meet at the West Valley YMCA Tuesday, August 22nd. Cross country has set a new record that we're going to talk about later. Golf had their first tournament. And as you know, these individualized sports are kind of hard to gauge win or losses on because we preach the idea at Caldwell High School that every win, so long as you beat yourself, is a win everywhere. Girls soccer continues a good season, going fourth in the Valley with a standing of 4-3. Player of the game was awarded this last game to Zoe Bowbury and Ella Larson. Zoe Bowbury comes to CHS, Ella Larson, I can't remember where. Boys soccer started off strong as well with a 3-1 score against Middleton on the 23rd, and the boys find themselves ninth in the league, going 3-2-1. Volleyball has started off their season. They seem to be appearing, getting better and better throughout their season. And boys football kicked off with a jamboree going 1-2 with one, putting belt to Centennial, which was amazing. One of the athletic ideas that we want to highlight with boys football is they had to raise $16,000 this year for their new uniforms. The board approved a budget of $4,000. That kind of helped to their total of $20,000. But players Raymond Lopez, Sawyer Audette, Charlie Butler, Marco Manzanares, Graham Smead, Bryson Chavez, Leland Reed, Joseph Black, Alex Lopez, John Rivera, and Velka Miranda all got specially recognized for being one of the top contributors to that $16,000. So I just want to highlight that aspect too, because they did. They got their new uniforms. They look pristine and new and nice, and I can't wait to see them on the first home game this Friday against Gooding. Like I said, cross country set a new record. Camus Book, a senior in his fourth year of cross country, set a new 5K time. He holds the record of 15 minutes and 54 seconds for a 5K, which beats Cruz Flores by 2 seconds, 15:56. Camus holds another record at Caldwell High School of 15:37 in the 3-mile race. So it's very close, and we're excited to see his growth this year. Drama kicks off their play this year. The Caldwell High drama department has started the production of Great Gatsby, which in my opinion was kind of a boring book, but nice to see developed into a play at Caldwell High. The lead actors include Rachel Noonan as Nick Carraway, Brandon Bake as Jay Gatsby, the namesake, and Jordan Wright as Daisy Buchanan. Rachel Noonan is also taken on the head of makeup, hair, and costume design. And if you have ever seen Rachel and her costume designs, they are amazing. She actually placed at State Drama for her costume designs. Esports. I didn't know this up until recently, but Caldwell High has joined the Esports Friends, which is electronical sports, basically video games, all those type of arenas that you see online. Mr. Lawson is heading that curriculum, and we're very excited to see what they come up with. They have an all-girls league and an all-males league already. And finally, one of our last activities, Latinos in Action. For at least 3 weeks now, Latinos in Action did not have a governing body or officers. So we spent an entire week last week deliberating and delegating new positions. So our new officers for Latinos in Action is President Eileen Ramirez, Vice President Kason Obregon, Secretary Brianna Robles, Treasury Joanna Reyes, Historians Yandel Ortega and Isabella Lopez, Professional Alejandro Maldonado, Social Chair Ariana Ocampo Arizmendi, and Service Roberto Garcia. And I forgot the Sergeant at Arms, Zyla Velasquez. And that is all. Did you guys know that grasshoppers have ears on their bellies? Because that was something I learned. Thank you all for inviting me up here to share the report on Caldwell High School.
I have. Chairman Manny, may I ask?
Vice Chairperson.
Okay, Mr. Obregon, I have noticed on some of our social media for the Caldwell High School, and they may have told us about it, but you know, and because I don't have seniors until this year, I have a senior. I didn't really think what these events were, but I want to ask about Senior Sunday.
Our senior sunrise.
So, yeah.
Yes, our senior sunrise. So that just happened very frequently, and I didn't get any photos sent to me, so I decided to talk about that next time. But yes, our senior sunrise, we had the largest turnout in senior sunrise, which was this year. The student council put it on. What it is it brings all the seniors out up onto the football field. 6:45, everybody shows up. That's when the gates open and the stadium lights are still turned on and we watch the sunrise together. And it's supposed to symbolize one of our last times is celebrating going into our final year before the crazy hectic testing comes on, AP test, AP classes, all the extensive homework we have to do. Summer reading assignments should have been turned in by now, but they still aren't. And so it's that last time to celebrate before it gets all crazy. And then at the end of the year, we'll do senior sunset, which is to, all right, you guys did everything you're supposed to do. You're going to walk, you're going to graduate, hopefully. Now just enjoy this time and kind of coast throughout the last couple weeks of your year. So that was our senior sunrise this year.
Okay, so it's just one time? Is this one time in the beginning?
Yes.
Senior, okay,
Time in the beginning and then the senior sunsets towards the ends.
okay,
Yes.
got it. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
There anything else? All right, thank you.
Did very well.
Well done.
Thank you. Mhm.
Okay, nicely done. Okay, we are excited to meet Brooklyn Long, is it longest or longest or is it
Longest.
longest? Okay, it is. It is what it sounds like. Okay. I just wasn't sure if there was some fancy pronunciation that I was missing. But sometimes it can be flavored with a foreign language or something. I didn't know.
Canyon Springs.
Canyon Springs, high school representative, Brooklyn, longest. Good to have you.
Chairman Manning, and Superintendent Dr. French. My name is Brooklyn Longas, and I am here to represent Canyon Springs High School. Today I am presenting Canyon Springs High School August rundown. To kick off the school year, we started at a new building on Fillmore Street in Caldwell. Teachers and staff have been working really hard to get the classrooms up and running. Since it is a new building for us, students and teachers, we decided to do a scavenger hunt to get to know our new surroundings. And we would like to give a huge shout out to the movers, custodians, and all the people who helped us with this big move from our last building. As you can see right here, this is the scavenger hunt we were passed out on the first couple of days of school. One of the clues, if you're tardy or lost your way, this is a place that saves the day. The location that we had for that clue was the front office. And so everyone got to know their new surroundings. Everyone's getting adjusted to their class as well. It is a little different since we have two different buildings. Next, we have a new counselor this year. Her name is Brianna Dill and her companion, Dusty. Brianna Dill earned her degrees at CWI and Boise State University. Dusty has been a trained therapy dog since 2019. She is a Border Collie and Australian Shepherd mix. She's a very lovely dog. I go and visit her every morning and every day at lunch. Next, Go Team Therapy Dogs. Canyon Springs had a local group of people who are training their companions to be therapy dogs. We should be getting them once a month, every month. And the students at Canyon Springs seemed to love to visit the little dogs and get to know them. I say from the looks of it, when I was there, was that the students were very comfortable with the dogs and enjoyed the presence. So I feel that it would be a very good thing for the next few months. Student Council. This year, Student Council plans on doing a senior breakfast on September 12th. We are trying to figure out some fun things for seniors to do their last year before they walk. We also looked into the Indian Creek cardboard kayak race. We have decided that we're going to do some staff against student council members. This Wednesday, we should be coming together and talking about how to build our kayak. Field day. Field day is probably going to be on the 26th of September. We had to push it out a little bit later than it was last year, but the students at Canyon seem to be pretty excited about it. Popcorn Fridays. This is something we started last year during the second semester. We started to sell popcorn on the end of the month each Friday to students at Canyon. we see that some people are, it's like a 50-50. Some people don't like the idea because they can just go pop popcorn in a mentor teacher's class, or some thought it was a good idea. We sell them for $1. We have different seasoning powders. But now we're also doing a Roar Ticket Movie Day, where we earn Roar tickets for demonstrating our slogan, and we get to put it into a bucket. For this month, we chose movies, and sometime this week we should be getting a movie day. And lastly, the first month of this school year, Canyon Springs students have earned a total of 75 credits. Students are really cracking down on getting their credits this year. But that is the end of my presentation. Thank you all for inviting me out to represent Canyon Springs.
Chairman Manning?
Yes,
Okay.
Vice Chair.
All right, Brooklyn, come back.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, something's wrong with my, yeah, it's staticky. I just wanted to say thank you for, I don't know if you got picked or if you rose your hand and said, teacher pick me, or, principal pick me, but thank you very much for, for coming up and talk to us and giving us a rundown of what's going on in Canyon Springs. We appreciate it. We want to know what our kids are doing, and sometimes in my crazy head, I want to be a high schooler again because I want to do the things that you guys are doing, and it's great. So I want to say thank you for having the courage to come up here and for presenting for us. We really appreciate it, and it just makes you be like becoming a leader for your school, and we hope that this continues on for you. Okay, so thank you. And also I wanted to say that to Mr. Obregon. Thank you for asking to be part of the student liaison for our school board. We appreciate it. We like to know what's going on with our schools, and we look forward to listening to your presentations. I think it's really cool. And we have that connection. Sometimes we get up here and, we go over paperwork and policies and things like that, but you guys make it, fun. And sometimes the district office makes it fun, but but yeah, but we appreciate it. So thank you for that. Okay.
Brooklyn, quick question for you. On your, with your cardboard kayak, have you guys signed up for it yet? Do you know?
Yes, we have signed up for it.
Okay.
It's just right now, student council are out there. And for the staff, I haven't gotten any updates on their vote for the kayak, but I only know student council's part.
Okay. Yeah, I think
Please
it's-
do not ask for any advice from Chairman Manning because they completely drowned it the first time he did it.
Or maybe you would want to talk to me because I
Or
can tell
maybe
you
you
what
would.
not to do. So, yeah. It's fun.
He may have some advice.
Thank you both. Appreciate it. Patron input, Madam Clerk. Okay. No one signed up. Thank you. Consent agenda. So the board may take action to approve, deny, amend, modify, or postpone action on any of the items listed below. Does anyone have any comments about the consent agenda?
Chairman Manning, I just wanted to just do a little clarification, and if I could pull item E.
Which one?
Field trips. Field trips, item E.
Field trips, okay.
Mhm.
And I would like to pull item D and G. So, any other items to be pulled? I mean, we got 3 or 4 left if we need. Otherwise, I will take a motion to approve the consent agenda as is.
Chair Manning, I move to approve the consent agenda items A, B, C, and F. I believe it is.
Okay, motion by
Second.
trustee Butler. And a quick second by trustee Godin. Any further comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, items pulled from consent agenda. Trustee Pacino, we'll have you go first.
Okay, So mine is item, I'm gonna pull this, but
Loose wire there.
something.
Does have a loose wire.
Adam, yeah. I've been accused of that quite a few times. Okay, item E. I just want to let the trustees know, this is for the wrestling and originally it had, labeled on it the Pasco trip, but the actual paperwork and the documents are for 5 trips. So for, it looks like the wrestling season. So there's different, I think it's Coeur d'Alene, Nevada, a couple of different tournaments. So I just wanted to clarify that it's not just for the Pasco trip that was mentioned originally. And that was all.
Good. I wanted to comment on the form, I guess. It says buses. Does this Caldwell School District still have the mini buses? Or are we just using vans, or do we have vans and buses?
Chairman Manning, trustees, so we won't let the minibuses go outside of the Treasure Valley. So we have the vans. So we have 2 passenger vans, which are approved by the State Department of Education to use for transportation, and they've been insured. That's what we'll use. The minivans are not in any condition to travel to
You mean
minibuses. I apologize. Yes, thank you. To travel to distances further than Boise.
Got
And
it.
that could be.
And agreed.
Mhm.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
The tennis team.
Chairman
van.
Manning and trustee Robertson, yeah, well, they're 15 passenger vans.
Oh.
So we have 2 of those. Now, as for luggage, usually the wrestlers have not asked for additional space for luggage, so I would guess Coach Freeman will calculate that.
Okay.
Ms. Sanderson, did you have anything to add to that?
Yes, trustee. Chairman Manning, I just wanted to point out that we have surplus 2 of the 4 minibuses. And they are out on consignment right now to be sold, and we're hoping to sell those and use funds to put toward third van. Soon.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I walk past those vans periodically over there at Lincoln Elementary School.
Sorry.
Go for it.
Chairman Manning, trustees, if one of the minivans that we've just reserved, it is used at Canyon Springs only. It is used for Canyon Springs, the students,
Did 21.
the 18 to 21 program. So that's
Only
the
access.
bus that will only be used, and they travel through Caldwell only.
Oh, so it's not available.
It isn't available to others. Does that help? 2 on consignment. 1 at Canyon Springs, 1.
One is currently able to travel within the Treasure Valley as far as Mountain Home.
1 minibus?
Yes,
Of the
Okay.
mini buses.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
As long as we can get to it in access. Rescue.
Does that help? Okay.
If the wrestling team needed to use both of the minivans, they could over the weekend?
Possibly, it depends on how many members. He usually will confirm the number of travelers. And if it exceeds a certain amount, we may send a yellow charter bus.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I pull item G. I was looking through the descriptions and I noticed that part of the job descriptions for principal, vice principal, dean of students was perform other duties as assigned. And I wanted to have a more substantive conversation about that, maybe at a board workshop. And so I am open to a motion to table this to have at a board workshop.
Okay, Chairman Manning, I would move that we table the approval of the proposed job descriptions. And did you want all of them, all 4 of them? Or just specifically?
Yeah, talk about all 4.
Okay, to be possibly discussed at a board workshop in the near future.
Okay. Motion by trustee Basina,
Second.
second by trustee Robertson. Any further discussion?
Chair Manning, I guess I'd ask Dr. French if there's any time frame requirement for this, if there's anything that is in urgent need of this being passed tonight or.
Chairman Trustee Butler, there's not, we're updating. I will say we would have to talk about every job description as other duties as assigned. Bernie understands. Bernie's other duties as assigned are pretty extensive. So we are more than happy to let you know what that looks like. If you're Melissa Langen, other duties as assigned, there are days that she is doing bus duty, lunch duty, working with instructional coaches. So it depends on what the need is. And we're happy to have that conversation, but it is on it's on every job description.
That's the standard line.
It is, because there are times we're asked to do certain things that may not be listed. It's like on a policy that says up to and including. This isn't limited to, it could include something else as well. So, but I'm happy to do that. We can schedule it for in 2 weeks. And then Bernie maybe could give us all the other duties as assigned that he has.
Big pat.
No, I'm just kidding you, Bernie. Sorry. But yeah, we're happy to do that.
Okay, so any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then we still have items D and E.
We did the field trips.
We didn't pass it though.
Oh, right. But did we go over the D?
Not yet.
Oh, that's true. We didn't go
Yeah.
over D. Thank
Mhm.
you. So D, I was looking at the engineering equipment and it looks like it's old wood shop equipment. Like I think there was a wood shop there before the engineering. I think that was a converted space. And so I was just thinking through things like, because we've had difficulty, because our engineering teacher left in the summer, and then we hired somebody and then they didn't stay long. And then, so I'm just wondering if we should get rid of the wood shop equipment, or should we hang on to it kind of thing in case, who knows, maybe we pick up a CTE teacher and we switch to wood shop. I don't know. Or are we married to the idea of staying with engineering for CTE? Or I don't know if there's enough flexibility there. I don't know. I just wanted to have that conversation. Whoever wants to.
I'd be happy to, Chairman Manning and trustees. So if we were to bring back wood shop, we would have to make sure all of that equipment is at industry standard today. And wood shop was eliminated from Caldwell High School more than a decade ago. So on a lot of this the equipment was sold off at that time. This is leftover pieces. So I don't know if it would meet industry standard today and or safety features today. We do appreciate Mr. Smith, who's gone through to try to help us clean up the shop area for robotics and eliminate the pieces of material that have been in a corner for more than a decade. Okay, stored for more than a decade. But I would say if we do move to a construction, we would want to make sure we were at industry standard for 2025, 26. I don't know if this equipment would meet the safety standards at this time.
Right. Cool. Any other discussion? So I would take a motion to approve items D and E.
Okay, Chairman Manning, I would like to make a motion to approve items D surplus and E, the field trips.
Okay, motion by Vice Chair Pacino. Do we have a second?
Second.
Trustee Godini, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Plant facilities report information, Mr. Carrera. Or should we call you Mr. Duties as assigned?
Plenty of them. Remain trustees, we received the draft back from the sign shop for the placard here, so I'll be sharing that this week with you. We've got the final draft and we can get that approved. Syringa, we met with the construction managers. We walked the building, gave them the scope of work that we're looking to get done. We met with the admin team over at Syringa, discussed schedule, what we'd like to see, and they'll be taking it back to their team and coming up with a proposal for us to do the work at Syringa, which would include the HVAC, exterior doors, windows, and it's potentially some interior. So 1502 Fillmore, like was spoke about, we've got the school going. All we've got left is the punch list items there. Once we do that, we'll be complete. They're very minor, so hopefully we'll see those done in the next couple of weeks. Jefferson, the carpet project's complete. We got everything in. And we have the overstock that we'll need, so it's looking good. District wide, as you know, and you probably can see around the district, the weeds have blown up all around everywhere. So we're just attacking those the best we can with the team we've got. So we're doing that, and then also still continuing to work on the irrigation pumps before season's over, so we can make sure we address all the major issues that we're having.
I know I bumped into you in Syringa Middle School a few weeks ago. You were with a guy from the county
Yeah, doing some weed abatement.
there on the canal. Okay, any questions for Mr. Carrera?
Mr. Carrera, Chairman Manning, just a quick question. Talking about the weed and abatement and stuff like that. Right there, because I drive it all the time on 10th at Wilson, in between the homes on the north side and the field. Is that part of the irrigation districts right there?
I believe that to be the cities.
The cities, okay,
Yes, that area right there, there's a strip of dirt right there.
okay,
Ours is a fence line.
Gotcha.
That's been called out. Actually, we were cited by the city and we've gone back and forth, and I said, well,
But the city is in,
my fence line is good. It's the dirt area. That's the easement. That's the city's
Okay.
property there.
the city brought it up, but we
Yeah.
haven't brought it up to the city where
We have
the,
before. We're
Okay.
just still
gotcha,
in discussion. So
okay,
getting it taken care of.
gotcha. Thank you, Bernie.
I had a question, Chairman Manning.
Sure, Christina.
I was wondering on the signage for this building here. So what did we decide? I may not have been here, but just wondering.
Chairman Manning, trustee Pacina, Vice Chair Pacina. So we're getting our school year started. We do have 2 community volunteers who would want to sit on the naming committee. We have that. We need to reach out to the schools. As per our policy, we need to have student representation. So that has not gone forward yet. Everything has stayed as it is currently. Nothing has been changed. So we do want to change the Fillmore building to say Canyon Springs, so people know. But we haven't discussed the Daryl Dede recognition on that building.
Okay.
But that would go to the committee.
Mhm. And so when it says signage to be installed, is that just like the street name for this building or the street number for this building or?
That's the address. So what we've done is, we've made the addressing since we've done the fire upgrades to make it more visible for fire. So we've taken down the old administration building, put up the address a little bit higher. So we've added the 1502. And then there's the 1512 on the other building that still are staying at the same addresses for those buildings. And then what we'll be doing also is looking at doing just Canyon Springs High School, putting those up where the old Indian Creek Academy and the administration was.
Mhm. And so for this building though, because it's an IT Poplar.
That would just be for the signage right here. There's just a logo that goes up on the front for the podium here.
Oh, the podium, I thought outside of the building. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. I was wondering, did we decide what name that was gonna be? Okay.
The dais will have a design like on the podium. But it will be
Oh, okay.
front. Oh.
Okay,
So
okay.
when the camera is
Mhm.
facing, or you're facing the camera,
Mhm.
the camera's picking up an actual.
The name of
right?
the,
At
okay.
the dais at Fillmore, we have it
Mhm.
behind us.
Oh, yeah, okay. Gotcha, okay.
It will be
Okay,
there.
for this is the signage for the day is, okay. Gotcha, okay. Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate that.
So a question about the signage again. So I guess the committee this fall will tackle what to name the Poplar building, what to name the new Canyon Springs High School building. Okay. We were gonna tackle anything else? Were we gonna tackle Lincoln at all, or you guys think?
Chairman Manning, right at this point, it's this building that's in a priority, and then the Canyon Springs will be Canyon Springs, but will it also be known as the Daryl Dede?
Okay.
facility. So really it will be, that's the only conversation, I think, is to make sure that we honor the, Mr. Didi and make, but this building does not have a name. We call it the Poplar Building, we call it IT, we call it the PD Center, so the committee really does need to name this building.
Okay.
Who are the volunteers that have volunteered for the committee? Do you know?
Yes, they're from CFEO, Chuck Stout and David.
Somebody else.
Okay. I'm now, Nelms. Thank you.
Okay.
I had a moment. I had to
Hmm.
just reflect. Mr. Nelms.
Okay.
Okay, all right, any other questions for Mr. Carrera?
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. To the regular agenda items. Canyon County tax levy, Ms. Anderson.
Yes, Chairman Manning and trustees. I'm asking for the board to approve our Canyon County L2, which is basically our notification and certification to the county for levying our taxes, beginning on the December 2025 tax bill. I would like to point out, if you look on the first page, the L2, under column the fourth column, revenue from school district facilities fund, Idaho code 33911. We did receive $4,253,128. This is an increase of $1,554,113.15. It's significant. So it allows us to apply $4,100,000 to our supplemental levy. There will be no levy on the Canyon County tax bill for our supplemental levy. And then we've applied $153,128, the excess, to the plant facilities levy. So our patrons should see a reduction on the plant facility levy as well.
All right, any questions for Ms. Anderson? Okay, thank you, Ms. Anderson.
I have a quick.
Vice
question.
Chair Messina.
Yes, so there'll be a decrease on the taxes because we don't need that portion. But then is it next year that we go for a levy again, supplemental levy? Or is it in?
Yes, we can if we're going to run in May
Uh-huh.
in order to be able to levy.
Mhm.
We'll need to do that or again in November.
Okay,
So our supplemental that was passed, it was passed in November of 24. This is our first year. We'll levy it for 2 years. So we do actually, and excuse me, we would be in November of 26 or in May of 27 to levy for December of 27
okay,
for the second year. That's
okay.
correct.
And so for the second year, will we have the same amount of money from the Idaho code?
You know, it's very difficult to know. I mean, it depends on the receipts.
Mm-hmm.
It's a conglomerate. There's several different funding sources that go into that money as it's distributed based on ADA to each district. So they had a larger beginning balance than they anticipated. It took the Division of Finance a while to get us that number because I think they were double checking to make sure it was accurate. We don't want to give it back.
Yeah.
But so it really does depend, and it's up to the legislature to appropriate it each year. So we won't know,
Mhm.
and hopefully early in the legislative session, what the impact will be.
Mhm.
As you know, it's not new money to the district. We receive the same, but we do receive it in advance from the state rather than wait for tax receipts. So there is an advantage, and certainly an advantage to our taxpayers because they're
Right.
not levied.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what our response would be when the taxpayers see that their taxes are lower for December 20th and then if it's different, they're gonna say, wait, what happened?
Actually, please remember that last year on the tax bill for December 24, they were not levied for the supplemental because it had failed. So
Right.
they will see an increase.
Mhm.
The supplemental levy is completely washed, but they will see the plant facility.
Okay.
Last year, what happened, we didn't have a supplemental levy. So the tax receipt or the facilities funds were applied to our plant facility
Oh,
levy.
gotcha. Okay.
So this year they will see, it's 2,394,876 levied for the plant facility.
Okay.
But when you spread it out over our cost per 100,000, it's exceptionally low.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's great.
All right. Thank you
Okay.
for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, any further questions? Thank you, Ms. Anderson, appreciate it. Okay, moving on. The next item we have, item B, Caldwell School District property. Oh, that is so true.
It's an action.
Can we get a motion for item A?
Chairman Manning, I make a motion to approve. Where are we at? The 2025 Kane County Tax Levy L2.
Okay, motion by Vice Chair Pacini. Do we have a second?
Second.
Other of the second, any further discussion? Favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Item B, Caldwell School District property. Caldwell School District property at 516 North 11th Avenue, Caldwell, the old Canyon Springs High School. Dr. French.
Thank you, Chairman Manning. So I will turn this over to Mrs. Sanderson to introduce our guest this evening.
Thank you, Chairman Manning, trustees. As you know, as we vacated the former Canyon Springs High School and moved them over to Fillmore Street, we have an opportunity with that property. So we have reached out to TOK Commercial, which is the largest broker, commercial broker in the valley. I would like to introduce Sam. Make sure I don't say your name wrong. McCaskill.
Yeah.
And Sean Edwards. They have toured the site and they have some valuable information for us to move ahead.
Thank you, everyone, for having us. Appreciate it. We'll just do a quick introduction here, then I'll hand it off to Sam for his introduction and he'll get started for us. But my name's Sean Edwards. So I have to lean over here, but I'm the Canyon County broker for TOK for commercial. I've been with TOK for about 2.5 years now. Prior to that, I was in commercial lending for about 10 years, mostly through Canyon County as well. So I do like to point out that I'm a native Idahoan. I feel like that gets us started off right. So born and raised. So anyway, I'll let Sam introduce himself too.
With that, I will say I was born and raised in Eugene, Oregon, but I have been here for 13 years now. And I also I married a gal from Caldwell. So all of my in-laws are in Canyon County. So I
Yeah.
have some blood here.
Okay.
And you might recognize him too, because he dominated the defensive line for the Broncos for many years.
I spent some time banging my head into people, but now I use my head for better things. Yeah, so Sam McCaskill, I'm going on 7 years with TOK Commercial. I'm a partner with the firm. Specialize in land development, redevelopment, and property investment. With that, I thought it would be good to start out with some similar properties that I've dealt with, similar to the school site. And did anybody else want a printout of slide deck? We brought a few extra copies if anybody. It's too far away to see for the screen if anybody wants to see that. Look good. Well, perfect. Well, so to go through the sites that are similar to this. So we'll start up here. So through the years, I've gotten to work with a bunch of public entities and then some private companies that you all would recognize. The private companies is the Amalgamated Sugar Company, Jackson's Food Stores, City of Boise, some nonprofits, and just a few eclectic groups that kind of get into our realm, not just users of property and kind of your traditional private buyers, but people who operate a little bit differently than the general public. So this first deal, this is in Boise. This was purchased by the city of Boise. I helped them take over a site that was a dilapidated office building. And what they're doing is they're trying to relocate more housing close to the city center to be able to strike a deal with a developer on a ground lease to be able to build much needed housing close to the city. This is in Meridian. This was a turned over church facility. Went to one charter school and then we helped them sell it to the next charter school. So we've seen quite a bit of movement from the charter schools in property acquisition. This was on, as I represented, the West Ada School District in disposing of their Idaho Fine Arts Academy up in Eagle. That also traded to a charter school. And then this last one was in Nampa off of 12th Avenue South. This was the old St. Alphonsus campus. This was scraped down to the ground, and we actually put in a developer out of Indiana. And they are a low-income tax credit housing development group. And so they operate a little bit different than your traditional market rent development. So market rent development would be building an apartment complex like you all are accustomed to seeing as you drive throughout the valley right now. The qualified census tract, which is very important as we discuss the school site in downtown, it falls within a few different jurisdictions for tax incentives to be able to revitalize and develop city core. The qualified census tract is governed by HUD, and they select different areas throughout the nation that prioritize some of this redevelopment. That property actually fell within that census tract, as does the property that we're talking about today. And that moves us on to the eclectic executive summary.
Yes, executive summary. So just a quick little refresher on the property itself. As you all probably know, the building itself is two buildings, just shy of about 49,000 square feet, 6 total lots totaling about 4.68 acres. The majority of the property is zoned TN or traditional neighborhood, and there's 2 western parcels right over here that are zoned R3, which is the high density residential. So the TN really encourages walkable mixed use development, while the R3 obviously is for a variety of housing types, variety types of apartments, townhomes, that kind of thing. So a couple strengths I wanted to point out first. Sam kind of just touched on it, but another aspect is that it's designated in the urban renewal district, which I'm sure you're all aware of that. But this is important for a number of reasons and key features. If you have any questions, just stop me anytime. But first advantage of there being in the URD is tax increment financing, some infrastructure support. The URD targets older, underutilized properties like this campus for reinvestment, city partnerships, and is a catalyst for downtown growth. What this means for our property really is it ensures the project is a priority for city support. Developers can access infrastructure assistance and tax increment financing tools. And it adds a layer of certainty and appeal that makes the site more attractive to investors. Another strength you can see on here is it does also qualify for the New Markets Tax Credit Program. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a federal program designated to attract private capital into low income or distressed census tracts, like what Sam touched on. Some aspects of this include for investors who participate can receive a 39% federal tax credit spread over 7 years, which obviously is a clearly powerful incentive there for some developers. For our property, this means developers can offset risk, lower financing costs, and improve project returns, all of which makes the site more appealing to some investors. So those are some good examples of the strength. You'll see on the bottom here that we have a target price value of just over 5 million. That is not actually our established target price. That just refers to an appraisal that we received from Cheryl that was done in April 2024. We only received a few pages, so we weren't able to review the underwriting or the actual comps used, which is okay. We can still obtain that from you. But I just want to point out that number there is, again, just showing what the appraisal showed last year. And it's more referring to an owner user or somebody acquiring the building for reuse rather than what Sam and I think is the main objective here, where we can move forward to is redevelopment of the land itself, whether that's getting rid of the school or not, which obviously has to be for that. But again, that's just what that number is. We think, and we'll get more into the comps and everything like that, but we think based on some comps that you can see in the long listing proposal that, and I'll point those out as well, but we're probably closer to a $3 million number, and Sam will discuss that as well. But that also refers to the $103 a square foot for the building value here, which if we value the building square footage at the 103, that's where we get the $5 million number, and same with the 2485. If we go to the land play, which again, Sam and I think is probably the way to go here. A few comps, if you look on page 26 of the larger listing proposal, not the slide deck. A couple good examples here is one that's right across the street on Elgin. It's a 4.3 acre parcel that's been for sale for quite some time now. Let's see here, it's actually listed, it has about 13 not manufactured homes, they're permanent structures, but they have residents. But it's approved, and it's almost approved for entitlements there for townhomes. That one is for sale, and again, has been for sale for quite some time at just about 10.50 an acre, which would be less than half of what that number is showing us here. And then the other property was number 3 on the list of land comps, which one is that actually did trade, I believe, I don't have it in front of me, but I think it was 844. 844. So it does show that some properties are able to trade in this market, but again, this valuation we don't feel tracks as to where we think this property is going to list for, in our opinion. This one give you the idea of the strength and everything there. So I'll let Sam dive into a little bit more on the executive summary and other points on the comps, I believe.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things to really point out here is the property is really poised to have potentially 2 separate buyers come in, as the property is disconnected from those parcels to the northwest. That could actually attract, because of economies of scale, maybe a higher price point per square foot when we look at the calculation down to a land value. The thing that stands out there is it has established retail just on the other side. The access is very good throughout the entire property. And so it allows the opportunity for some flexibility in listening to what the market will really bear and, what people are looking for. I think diving back into the topic that I brought up with market rent development and then tax credit development, through 21 and 22, we saw a huge rise in a lot of speculative purchases of land for redevelopment for multifamily. And then you also see a bunch in the industrial world. That was institutional capital coming in and being able to take advantage of historically low interest rates, and allowed people to really get aggressive in purchasing and developing property. Once it hit 23 and 24 and even into 25, what we're experiencing is without a significant rate decrease, still makes it very hard for a market rate development to be able to pencil and bring more buyers to the table. And so one of the huge benefits that you guys have is being in all of these different tax credit areas and being able to attract a flexible developer that has the wherewithal to be able to pull something off like that. It comes with a lot of experience and vetting the right buyer. So being able to expose that to the right group is what we specialize in. We're close. There we go. So I wanted to talk about TOK a little bit in general. I'm sure a lot of you have gotten to partake in a residential purchase, a residential sale, maybe even some into the commercial realm, but commercial disposition, and especially with a property with the complexities that this has, it takes the right team. And so TOK, we've been established in the Valley for over 30 years. In that we have full-scale property management for all asset classes. We have leasing brokers for every single asset class. We have investment brokers, and then we have land brokers. And so with that, we bring a ton of readily available market information. Very different than throwing a property on Zillow or the MLS and kind of applying to everybody who's seeing the same amount of information. The commercial world for marketing is a bit bulky and clunky, as there's a bunch of different websites that people comb through to be able to find these opportunities. And so being able to put it on the proper platform to be able to reach the highest and best buyer for the school's behalf is what we target to do. That comes with a lot of strategy and how we get the property marketed, allowing the right amount of time and getting it in front of the right people. A lot of development properties, they're transacted with people that we know because we take it to specific developers and they want to see exactly how it breaks down. So us being able to highlight the urban renewal district, the tax credit, the city's emphasis to be able to have something redeveloped on the site, or being able to still be open to an owner user who could come in and see utility out of the current facility. When it gets into a property with a building on it, but a significant land play under it, you never want to presuppose exactly who your end buyer is going to be. Sometimes, and more often than not, we're pleasantly surprised with who comes to the table and the different ideas that come out of that. With the prominent location, with the size of utility, and then also the size for redevelopment, it offers a number of different eclectic buyers and developers to come to the table. So one of the market deliverables that we wanted to go through actually comes from this hyperlink. We'll see if it goes through. Oh, there we go. So this is a property, if anyone's familiar with Chinden and Linder up in North Meridian. This is a property that TOK has listed. It's a master plan development. Winco's the anchor tenant. We probably have 20 different tenants who occupy the buildings on the frontage, and then there's a future land play with residential and multifamily. The really cool thing with this is, as you can see, you can drag and move this around to see the surrounding areas. So as you can see, very nice neighborhood surrounding it. And then it also even populates with the exact businesses that come up. So somebody who's out of town looking at this development, they can pull this up and they can see, well, you know, maybe by Google Maps, things look a little bit green and underdeveloped in the area. But as you can see, it really dives in and gives people a boots on the ground look at what that does. So that's a marketing piece that we're utilizing a lot with our drone photos and our marketing team to be able to emphasize properties. We thought that this was important to show as it would go through for marketing the property, being able to get a bird's eye view and showing someone not familiar with Caldwell the opportunity at hand, being able to show everything at the bustling Indian Creek area, everything downtown that this development would really be able to cater to. So we thought that that was a cool piece to show. Now, do my best to try and get back to the actual proposal piece.
And while he's doing that, I forgot to mention part of the appraisal process, as you guys probably know, and gals know, the state statute requires that whatever the appraisal says, property cannot be sold for less than 95% of that value. So that's why it's important. Not only the appraisal is outdated, so we got to get updated one anyway, but it's important for us to get an updated version. So we know what that number is. So we don't, if we have to go either sealed bid or auction, which we're going to talk about, but there's an idea for the value, we have to be within 95% of that value, the appraised value.
And then another piece for this deliverables slide, I think it's important to always show what the expectation is. You guys wouldn't want to hire somebody and then not hear from them until they had maybe a bit of good news. What we try and pride ourselves on is constant updates in the form that you all would like to receive. I'm assuming most of the time during a meeting like this, but being able to give active updates on who would be looking at the property, tours at the property, different people coming into town, and then just an overall market reach of what that's hitting. A lot of our clients, they enjoy a comprehensive map that we put together to be able to show where all the inquiries are coming from. So we might be a property in Caldwell, but it's attracting a development group out of Delaware, some of these groups who are coming in and they're really looking to capitalize on a growing downtown core. So diving into that, I mean, we can definitely expand on that some more if you all would like to see that. The next slide into our marketing process. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of different databases that we utilize to be able to get the property maximum exposure. So I would venture to believe that we have over 500 properties actively listed throughout each one of these platforms. And so we've spent a lot of time as each new opportunity comes up with different listing platforms to be able to find the right way to utilize them for different properties. And part of that comes in with the developer database that we hold. There's a number of larger national groups that encompass everything for redevelopment and multifamily sites. I ran a process. Unfortunately, it ended with the legislator terminating the sale, but Idaho Transportation Department had a site in Boise that was just off of the river and just removed from downtown. It was the old Whitewater site, and so we actually ran a comprehensive process with that. We took it out for a call for offers, which would be similar to what the code says for a sealed bid situation. So it gives two opportunities for you guys to dispose of property. It's either the sealed bid or public auction. What we've experienced is the sealed bid. It allows everybody the opportunity to process their underwriting in-house before they come. If we held a public auction at a meeting like this, it's really hard to get all of the qualified buyers into one room for one exact date and then try to achieve the best price. What we've found is sometimes that best price comes with a variation of different terms. It could carry a due diligence time and then some sort of entitlement with the city of Caldwell to be able to ensure that they can develop it the way that they want to. And so your best offer might actually come with 6 months to a year of time to be able to entitle it, or you could line that up with an offer that's close it in 30 days. You'll take a haircut on the price, but comes without the risk of holding the contract for longer. So I'm happy to answer any questions on that projected sales timeline if anybody would want further clarification there.
Mr. Robertson.
Hi, thank you so much. I have a question on that page.
Yeah, the
And
executive
it
summary.
says that the current zoning is traditional neighborhood and R3 high density residential. Based on the location of this, because there are other like light industry and stuff around, can that zoning be changed? Like if somebody comes in and wants to use it to have a small manufacturing company?
It could. The economics for a manufacturing facility, unless if they had the property already available to them, a property situated like this for redevelopment, the highest and best offer would probably be achieved by maximizing the zoning, which would be go vertical with housing.
Okay.
There could always be a use that maybe there is a way that they could come into the building and kind of strip some of the demising walls and being able to open up the 2 stories and be able to utilize the facility more to their liking. The traditional neighborhood and the urban renewal district, likely they'll want to see an impact that hits housing. That seems to be their main objective, but it's not to say that an industrial use wouldn't be allowed. With availability throughout town for industrial space, we think that it's probably more likely to lean towards a multifamily development.
Okay, well, for me, I was just, looking at and I grew up here, so historically, just that whole area. I mean, you've got some retail, you've got some housing, you've got, well, there used to be a poly tank facility practically across the street. I think it burned down. And so it was just more like, is that in stone that it would have to be housing? But it sounds like for the best resale, and my theory would be is that somebody's probably going to come in and just take everything down. Like you said on something earlier, scrape it.
Yeah. The nitty gritty term, just scrape it.
Yeah,
But,
just scrape it
yeah,
and
the-
then start over.
Yeah, so sometimes just going through the demolition process and being able to add that into their underwriting. So as it would go into this, a developer would also look at the total cost to either remodel or completely demolish the building, which for the size of the property, it would probably be a hefty bill for the demolition. And so we would definitely want to take that into consideration. I'm sure that the appraiser would do that as well, as they would look at a redevelopment site for that.
Because I can't imagine that you take that old building and somehow build on top of it apartments.
Yeah,
So it's like,
yeah, and it would,
we'll
it
just-
would usually come all the way to the ground
Yeah.
and then they would start from a raw land state.
Yeah. okay, well, I didn't, the zoning thing was really my question, because knowing that there's other things in that area, but it sounds like the best possible price for the property would be somebody that wants to develop housing,
Yes.
and that some of the best support from whether it be the government or, I'll tell you, somebody bring a fly swatter, is that there are some funding processes that would help if it is low income housing or something like that
Yeah,
for a buyer.
there's a lot of incentives that stack up specifically for housing, but you know, one of the things that we rely on a lot is our relationships with each municipality. And so by working throughout the whole valley and spending a lot of time with City of Caldwell, we're close with the mayor and economic development as well. And so being able to have their blessing as we would bring a property like this to market, letting the local jurisdiction know that it's coming to market is one of the most important things, because we want them to be equipped with all the information that we have, as buyers will call and they'll ask them questions, because part of the goal for any developer is to meet the least amount of headwinds as they come through their entitlement process. As you guys have seen, some of the city council meetings, they can be very contentious. And so being able to be your easiest moving route to the finish line is usually the best buyer in this case. And so we feel confident in the type of buyer that it would attract. So yeah, very good questions though.
Thank you, that helps.
Chairman Manning?
Christina.
Yes, so this map is, I've seen it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to the meetings for urban renewal development.
Yeah.
And I live in that area. And so I'm excited that the city's actually focusing on that area, because it's been an area that has been dilapidated for years and years, the lighting and irrigation. And I know that irrigation is, you know, every district is its own. It's not really run by the city, but the nice thing is that it's getting a focus from urban renewal development and, you know, and their focus, you know, the plans that they're talking about. And just so you know, trustees, if you want to put it on your calendar, September 25th, there's going to be a committee for urban renewal development on, you know, what the next steps are for these areas. But, you know, the ideas that they have about, you know, putting little parks or making it, you know, nice, for the residential areas. And, you know, and there are residential areas nearby, right behind all the, like I said, I live right there, so I got a choice of 10 fast food restaurants.
There we
if I
go.
don't want
That's
to
good.
make dinner.
Yeah.
And so right behind that main drag, 10th Avenue, is all the residential areas, of course, in Kane County, right?
Yeah.
But in back there, they've got the trailer homes, but and you know, I've been thinking, you know, I think we all think about how could we sell it? Who would want to buy it? And I'm glad that you're here, because you're letting us know, you know, the best value. But I do believe that, you know, that's the meetings that I've been to, that's what they're pushing, and there's money to make the areas around it more attractive, where people want to, and hopefully it'll attract these developers that will come and say, okay, well, if urban renewal's in, you know, it'll make it better and make it something that valuable that people want to live in, whether it's affordable housing or, you know, a higher end or whatever it may be. So I'm excited that I feel like we're at the right time
Yeah.
for this to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a really good time in the market, as we're seeing right now. We're expecting rate cuts coming up. So that will pull some developers off the sideline. We're also seeing a substantial amount of larger sites throughout the valley that are finally now getting some more looks onto it. 21 and 22 were a bit of an anomaly in some of the transactions that happened, but
Mhm.
we're starting to see some normalcy in the market. And we're we're seeing activity pick up, that's for
Mhm.
sure. And I want to touch on, so the comment to the low income tax credit housing, I think that gets a bad rap sometimes where we've worked with a lot of them. They're phenomenal developments. They look
Yeah.
brand new. They look like a market rate deal, but they're set to a fixed income standard, which is actually super helpful because part of the gain of being a private developer or investor is you raise the rents to be able to maximize the property's value at the sake of the tenants. And so for a lot of these programs that are in the tax credit to be able to get that built, it actually fixes the rental increases so it's not so drastic that it's pushing people out. So we see it as a great option for longevity and also obtaining a better demographic of people who are going to stay there for a while. The kind of the final slide that we have is the sealed bid timeline that we discussed, which would be the alternate to a public auction. So what that typically does is we would get everything together for the appraisal. We would get the appraisal back. We would factor in all of our marketing efforts. We would meet with the city. We would meet with local engineers to be able to get a generalized site plan put together and an understanding of what the site could really hold for the number of units that it would develop. And then we would also take an assessment of the viability of the structure as it sits, for an owner user to be able to come in if they saw it in that benefit. From that time of engagement, it usually takes a couple weeks to be able to get the marketing information together, unless you guys are at a significant push for an exact deadline for you to take the property out to market. We would generally kind of see how the next two to 3 months go, and be able to have all the marketing information together to be able to go with a structured sealed bid program. Once addressed to the market, we like to give enough time for people to really wrap their heads around it. If you tell somebody, hey, here's this really cool site, tons of flexibility, and by the way, offers are due in 2 weeks, a lot of people won't even pursue it because there's a lot of work on the back end that has to be done before they come up with their offer. And so giving people ample time, unless if we had a site plan and knew exactly who the buyer was going to be, we would condense it a little bit. But for this sake, we would project being around a 90-day call period. So we would go through, bring out all the marketing information, get everybody together, go through open houses if people wanted to see the facility, go through and be able to come up with their site plan, and then have a very, very specific date when all offers are due. We would get all the offers together, and then we would be able to go through them, breaking down each developer or buyer who would be looking at it. And then also, of course, look through the price and terms and determine what the best buyer would end up being. And so depending on the statute and how you would want to dispose of the property, it's always subject to discussion of, is it highest and best price with any time relative, or is it highest and best price with a specific closing deadline in mind? And so that would be kind of an open discussion for us to have, to be able to move forward and have proper marketing put together. But other than that, I think that covers everything that we were hoping to talk about with the property, and our background with TOK.
So Dr. French, I guess it's an action item. So are we, what's the action, specifically, what's the district's recommendation?
Mrs. Sanderson?
Sanderson, thank you.
We would need authorization to move ahead with a listing agreement with the OK Commercial. We need a motion to approve a new appraisal. Because there's some expenditure expected with that. That's good, that what we put on the.
And to secure the services with DOE. The appraisal and such.
Yeah, I guess that would be the first one, actually, is for the board to decide that you in fact wish to put the property up for sale. Had many discussions, but the board has not made a formal motion. the decision in that regard.
So that we're asking, does the board want to move forward with selling the property? That would be an action item. The next action item would be to have it reappraised. And then, securing a
Retain the services.
service of TOK to help market it.
Proceed.
See this now.
Chairman Manning, I have a question.
Trustee Butler.
Dr. French, Ms. Anderson, I thought we already had a motion last month or 2 months ago for an appraisal to take place.
We did not. The appraisal was done in April of 24.
Yeah, and I thought we brought it back up and had that, and during a meeting that we already asked for another one.
I apologize if that's the case. I
So-
know we've had several discussions.
I guess that's why I'm kind of confused by this, because I thought we were waiting on an appraisal first. With the two options, one is for the full site and one is to clear it ourselves.
Okay, so.
And I thought we were waiting for that, and so this is all kind of
Thank you. So
We did have that.
kind of a,
Chairman Manning, Trustee Butler. So we had talked about what would it be to, what would it be to scrape
Scrape it, yeah.
it? And then how, what would it sell for?
and having those two options.
Or
presented
what,
to
sell
us.
it as is?
I think what we were actually waiting on was the estimate for the demolition. So we did get quotes for the cost to have the building demolished. And it's very close to $500,000 between the environmental abatement that will have to be done. So both, we had two quotes and both hedged it a little bit. One was, about 250,000 plus whatever it would take to abate. The other one was more familiar with the site. They've done work for us and their estimate was just right at $500,000. So our question really was, and with these gentlemen initially, could possibly the land be worth more without the building?
Right.
For us to go ahead and demo the building and then market the sale as bare. But there's some discussion of whether that would limit the potential because it's actually quite a historic building. It has usable space if someone's willing or has a unique desire. You can always demolish it later. We need to limit the number or the scope of our offering by removing the building and then someone else may have. So.
If I may, I would like to give some comment to that because we do deal with that question quite a bit in our industry of a property that the land could be more viable than the actual building that sits on it. And sometimes to our surprise, there is a user out there who's willing to use it. And in our opinion, the cost to presuppose that the buyer does want a clean site to get started, it would basically come down to the factor of either you guys paid for it or it's recognized out of the purchase price when you go ahead and sell it. And so to preserve the budget and not have to go forward with coming out of pocket to be able to scrape a building, the worst thing that would happen then is if you did take it to market after that, and then someone said, well, I actually had views of revitalizing the property and being able to find a way to use it. Nonprofits fit into a unique buyer pool that we work with a lot. I know that we talked about charter schools being on the hunt. I know that conflicts with you guys as a district a little bit, but church facilities and some other groups that they will come in and buy a property as it stands and be able to revitalize it the way that they want to. You would just hate to presuppose and spend the money if it is in upwards of $500,000 to do. If you had something there, it kind of gives the opportunity for somebody to look at the greater picture if there's value in the structure. So.
Makes sense.
Okay, other questions for the board? I guess I have a question. How do you guys get paid? You guys take like a certain percentage of the sale?
A certain
thing.
percentage of the sale, similar to a house transaction, it would be paid only in the event of a closing. We wouldn't get paid in any other form. So throughout the property, as the buyer would come through with their funds to close, it would be recognized on the closing statement. So it would be the fee minus the purchase price to be able to see what the total net return would be for you guys.
Other questions from the board? So are we settled on the question of, do we need to vote on an appraisal or no? Do we need to go back and look at the minutes real quick for previous meetings, or?
Watts is looking, but I don't believe it would hinder us to have another function to.
Okay. All right, so it looks like we need at least two, perhaps three motions. One, to approve the sale of 516 North 11th. Two, potentially approve the appraisal if needed, and then three, approve the district secure the services of TOK Commercial. So let's start with the first one. Do we have a motion to approve the sale of 516 North 11th Avenue?
Do we have to put all of the addresses in?
No. Chairman Manning, I would like to make a motion to approve the sale of 516 North 11th Avenue site.
Okay, motion by Vice Chair Pacino. Do we have a second?
Second.
Trustee Godina, second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed?
Hey,
Okay, we got one opposed, and my vote is an aye, so thank you. I guess we'll move with an approve an appraisal of 516 North 11th, since the appraisal hasn't happened yet. Do we have a motion to approve an appraisal?
Chairman Manning, I make a motion to approve an appraisal for the property located at 516 North 11th Avenue.
Okay, motion by Vice Chair Pacino. Do I have a second?
second.
Second by Trustee Butler. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. And the last one, securing the services of TOK Commercial. Do we have a motion to approve?
Chairman Manning, I make a motion to approve that the district secure the service of TOK Commercial to perform the sale as per Idaho Code 33-601.
Okay, do we have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Godina with a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, one nay, and I'm voting on the aye. Okay, I believe that is it. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for your time. Thanks so
Look
much.
forward to working with you in the months ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. I also brought a few cards if anybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and we'll follow up with all the materials and
So in a way that we can access that moving 3D, or is that?
yeah, I can send, it'll be on the slide deck. There's a link in it.
Oh,
And I'll also show the flyer that we use that is interactive, to be able to show kind of what our marketing looks like for a product.
So that.
It's pretty cool. It's
It is.
Yeah.
trying to adapt with the new times.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, thank you all.
Okay, item C on the regular agenda, future agenda items. Trustees, do you have any suggestions? Yeah, if not, we'll move to policy development. Errata revisions, Dr. French.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Manning. First, we have policy 3265P, electronic communication devices procedure, and then policy 4210E, the school facilities rental fee schedule. There were items that were inadvertently omitted last time, so those have been added back on.
Okay. Do we have a motion for the errata revision items? I guess it's one item. Actually, no, it's
For the two
it's
policies.
two
yeah.
items. Thank you.
Chairman Manning, I would like to make a motion to approve the errata revisions on policy, let's see, 3265 P procedures and policy 4210 E, school facilities rental fee schedule.
Okay, motion by trustee, Vice Chair Pacino. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Robertson and a close third by trustee Godina. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. First reading, Dr. French.
Yes, Chairman Manning, we have policy 2340 controversial issues. And then policy 5275 personal conduct, which would replace policy 419.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the first reading?
Chairman Manning, I'd like to make a motion to approve the first readings for policy 2340 controversial issues and policy 5273 personal conduct replaces policy 419.
Okay. Motion by Vice Chair Pacino. Do I have a second?
Second.
See Robertson, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Second final reading, Dr. French.
Yep, Chairman Manning, trustees, we have policy 1500B. It would be part of policy 1500 operating procedures and protocol.
Okay. I would take a motion to approve second reading.
Chairman Manning, I make a motion to approve the second and final reading for policy 1500B-1 board meetings, board operating procedure and protocols.
Okay, motion by trustee Pacino. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Butler, any further questions, comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries for the second final reading. This time we need to move into executive session. Vice Chair Pacino.
Yes, Chairman Manning, I would like to make a motion to enter into executive session as per code 74-206 B or subsection B to consider the evaluation, dismissal or disciplining of, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, individual agent, or public school student. And regarding employee number 2025-08-25.
And then the second reason, there's two reasons.
And, oh yes, and Idaho Code 74-206 to consider labor contract matters authorized under section, is it 74-206A, subsection, is it L? Okay, 1, A and B Idaho Code 74-206.
Okay, motion by Vice Chair Pacino. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Godina. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Trish Robertson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Maricela Pacino.
Yes.
Chairman Travis Manning,
Yes.
trustee Manuel Godina,
Yes.
trustee Andrew Buck.
Yes.
Okay, we are now in executive session.
She has Cheetos in her teeth.
Okay,
So we're up.
yeah. Okay,
All right, we are coming out of executive session. Vice Chair Pacino.
yes, so as per code Idaho Code 74-206, B, to consider evaluation, dismissal, or disciplining of, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent, or public school student, referencing employee 2025-08-25. I make a move to accept the district's recommendation for this employee.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Butler. And I believe we're gonna ask a roll call.
Trustee
Madam Clerk.
Robertson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Maricela Pacino.
Yes.
Chairman Travis Manning,
Yes.
Steve Manuel Godina.
Yes.
And trustee Andrew Butler.
Yes.
And
Okay.
then as per code 74-206, in regards to section J, to consider labor contract matters authorized under section 74-206A, 1A and B Idaho Code. This will be information only.
Okay, thank you, Vice Chair Pacino. Speaking of information only, there are some information only dates. CHS Homecoming is October 6th through 11th. CHS Homecoming Parade, Friday, October 10. Canyon Springs graduation is Friday, May 15. That is, we're planning in advance. That's amazing. I mean, many months. At the NNU Brandt Center again. That worked well last time. CHS graduation Wednesday, May 20th at the Idaho Center. And I would take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Thank you, trustee Godina, trustee Butler. Any further comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.